Okay. Thursday is going to be a different day. It's one of my daughter's birthdays, and she's coming from Michigan with her kids. So I thought I would show you how to do the acrylic pages ahead of time. One reason is we each got 2 sheets of acrylics in our kits, and it's hard to do things over and over again when we have limited supplies. It's also hard to tape acrylic. So we'll just give this a shot and see how it goes. What we're doing is we're taking acrylic sheets, and I do have an extra one. We're taking acrylic sheets and covering our biggest pictures in the middle that are going into our triangle pages. So I have one of these albums here. Let me move the stuff around. I'm going to show you different size pictures so that you can do it, how to cut it down and how to attach it. And I started with one. What we want to do is we want to make a photo or a picture. It could be other things. And we want to put it inside the triangle pages to hold the gatefolds closed. And I chose a photo here. I also chose a photo for the back. So I'm not sure which is going to show, but the big picture is the one I'm concerned about, because when I put my fingers in there all the time, it's always going to touch this photo. So I'm just going to fold the book up for now. And just deal with the photo. When you cut your photo, your acrylic, you want to cut it the same size as your mat. And I will show you cutting one, but I'm just going to do one first. Now, this is not going to be a flip photo. This is just a regular photo. So I'm going to put a little adhesive beside my photo to hold it down. And this is the part where you can become creative, because you can put a little line of paper or something else, even an accent of some sort, over the area where your acrylic's going on. You know how I said this is a little hard to see? It's hard to see when you're doing it too. So I'm just attaching the acrylic right over my photo. A little bit of extra glue there, so I'm just rubbing it off. And now my photo is covered with plastic. And so when I go to lift it out of the inside of my album, it will not get fingerprints all over it. Now, what I would suggest is that you pick out a paper. I don't have one done yet. I didn't think of that. And I would put an edge to cover up the acrylic. And I'm going to show you this one. This is what most of you are working on. These Blue Skies papers. And last week, I chose to do my journaling, and I finished it when you got off, when we got off. I chose to do my journaling right on a big paper, and that can be my envelope holder. And on the other side, I have a photo, and that can also be my gatefold closer. So I have covered this with acrylic, and this time there was more room above the picture, so I put my adhesive there. And you hardly can see it. So I'm not too worried about what I cover up. But now I'm going to show you a decorative way to cover it up, something else I'm working on. So the paper you have, I always get this goofed up, you know that. Up, down, side. Okay. The plastic you have is 8.5 by 11. And when you're working with a big photo, you're going to have to trim it down to fit your 6 by 6.5 paper. And but I want your plastic to be exactly the size of your black. This one would make a cute area where you could add your plastic. I mean, your an accent. This picture is for Christmas, and it's bigger than my area. So I'm just going to cut a good chunk off it. It doesn't matter what size the photo is, as long as you keep retaining the photo quality. And this one too. But I still think I will make my acrylic the 6.5. Drop the papers. Be prepared and then drop. Okay. So when you cut this, just make sure it's lined up right on the line. So sometimes it's easier to put it right on top of your mat. Line up your mat and cut down. This is exactly 6 inches. 6 by 6.5, I think. So I get it to my 6 line, hold down that bar so it doesn't slip. Acrylic is very slippery. And then I'm going to put my mat back on, make sure I get it exactly the same size. You can actually cut your mat at the same time if you wanted to. Going back just a little. So this one is all ready to adhere. And during class, I'll show you that up close and personal. I want to move on to something fun. Save all your pieces, because these pieces can be used for other things, smaller pictures. I'm going to show you how to make a mat that can change pictures. So you don't have to use the same picture. You can interchange it. I'm making a special album, started it yesterday. And it's just a very basic album. And I'm going to be using the Stamperia on it again. But the box is kind of fun. The box has a flip top, so the album will show inside. And it's the first time I've made this box. It might have feet, I haven't decided yet. But what I have decided is Stamperia paper. And this box only has 4 pages inside. And I want to take one of those pages and decorate with an acrylic mat a different way. So if I was, the hard part about some of the things that are two-sided is I like 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 mats. And that's everything we did in our wallet. So 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. So that's how big your paper has to be, your plastic has to be. This card is too big. So it's, I think, 6, it's 4 1/2, and I need it to be 4. So I cut one down and I made it 4 by 6, just like a photo. And I make my long mat a 1/2 inch longer at top and 5/8 longer on the bottom. So all my mats are 4 1/4. So I can take my plastic, cut it at 4 1/4, the whole thing. Then I'm going to fold down a 1/4 inch on this mat at the top. I scored it, fold it down. I'm going to take my 4 1/4 and measure my width. You don't even have to measure, you can play it by ear as long as it's 5/8 inch bigger than your photo. This is a way you can add a changeable picture. So this is the page I'm going on. I'm going to be putting a blue cover. I'm just working with a clover right now. This can be either put on the top of the page or the bottom of the page. And I take a piece of very skinny adhesive. At least, if I can find the edge, no bigger than the photo or the, yes, I'm going to do it about that big. I want to make sure I have 1/8 of an inch on each side. Then I'm going to take that plastic I cut and attach that on that little teeny piece of adhesive. Line it even on the bottom. And this is very hard to see, even for the person making it. Okay. Now, that adhesive shows through. So I'm going to take a strip of paper that matches my background paper, and I cut it 3/8 inches wide. And I'm going to put it, first I want to see where this goes. I'm sliding my photo in. This time it happens to be an accent. I want to make it about 1/8 of an inch below the photo. So I have a little bit of black showing all around. Now there's absolutely nothing showing. When I add this to my page, it'll be 3 stages here. I can now flip this down, it's sort of sticky, and I can change the picture. Let's just put a picture in there. This picture of Kyla and a doggy. I can just slide a picture in there and it will stay on. The other thing you can do is in your little baggies you got for your kits, you had some of these black circles. I thought I want to put a magnet on here. So you can put a magnet to lift it or flip it. You can attach to the back, or it can attach to the front. Since I already put that on, I think I will attach it. No, I'll try that. So just putting a dab of glue. This is all going to be covered, so putting a good sized dab. Putting a magnet. Putting it in the glue. So the central. And then when I go to put it on the page, I can add a magnet so it'll stick to the bottom. So because this is a flip page, I can have 2 pictures on this piece of plastic. I'm going to put it right over the plastic in the middle. And line it up. There we go. So I can have a photo in here, or when you're not sure of your photos yet, you can put pieces of your paper or your ephemera. My finger has glue on it. I'm trying not to get glue on that picture. There we go. Let that dry. Look how beautiful that looks with a piece of plastic. You won't get fingerprints on it. You can use the magnet to flip it, and it will be a good addition to this page. And you can have more hiding underneath. I really like interactive pages where you can have more inside and it just gives you value. Okay, that's it for now. I will show you this Thursday. I'll be having my youngest granddaughter with me and maybe a few more grandchildren. So friendship should be interesting. So we'll go over this video and a few more ideas on Thursday. Meanwhile, have a great week. God bless.